Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Jan of Kaduna reporting for duty on hashtag Sustainable Sunday. It's been a while. Did I say yes? It's been a while. Like 2 weeks. I took a 2 weeks break, and which is not healthy or sustainable for especially for a new YouTuber who is still trying to get seen out there. But Nigeria happened. Every content creator in Nigeria is in the trenches right now, especially with everything that's happening, especially with almost no power, with fuel scarcity for 1 month and counting, increase in fuel prices overnight. It's been the actual ghetto for a lot of content creators, especially for smaller ones like us that cannot afford to go the extra mile. So I had to take an unwanted 2 weeks break. But for now, I'm trying to get around it. I'm trying to get a hang of it. And I am here with a new video today. And today I'm going to tell you why and how they lied about recycling helping us out of the plastic crisis, out of our environmental crisis in the world. It cannot happen. And I'm going to tell you why that cannot happen today. Recycling is the process of collecting and processing materials that will have otherwise been thrown away and turning them into new products. This could include your plastic bottles, cardboard boxes, glass bottles, a lot of things that you have just thrown away and continue causing menace for the society and contributing to landfills and forcing people to incinerate them and all those things. Instead of doing all that, they're trying to find ways to make new products out of them. And in a lot of environmental talks, in a lot of environmental circles, and in a lot of campaigns towards us achieving a more sustainable community, a more sustainable world, a lot of people keep on pushing the message of recycling. But the thing is, recycling cannot save us. Recycling cannot help us. Recycling could be the ghetto. Firstly, are we going to talk about the high cost, like the high upfront capital that is needed to even start recycling in the first place? It is expensive. It is not cheap. It is not the cheapest business out there or initiative or whatever you want to call it. Recycling is not cheap. The equipment that you need to start, the machines that you need, the machineries, the space, the utility vans, the utility vans, the education of people, all those things are not cheap. They are not cheap. Recycling is very expensive. It's a very, very expensive venture. Or are we going to be talking about the fact that most of the sites where these recycling centers are, they're actually unhygienic? Now, what I mean by unhygienic, a lot of things go on, like a lot of chemicals are given off when they're trying to make some of this trash or these things that will have been trash into new items. A lot of chemicals are given off which could be toxic to the people that work with this product. Also, they give off emissions. Also, they give off some of these chemicals out, and the areas where some of these recycling centers are not hygienic for normal human or animal health, and it's really not the best thing. Some of the products that are made of recycled materials are not the very best products out there. They might not have the very best quality out there. They might not be as durable as a newer material of like the same product, or maybe of like almost the same kind of constituents or components. They might not be able to have the same kind of quality, and it's just like most recycled materials go down a notch in the quality department. That's really what happens basically. And we are aiming for better products and not products that already have knocked off some quality out of it. Now, even if you say, okay, Some are not, some products are not of the best quality, some are of the best quality, and some are very much okay and could be used by everyone out there. The thing is, recycling is not widely embraced. Now, in Nigeria, speaking from a Nigerian perspective, apart from maybe the local ways that we do recycling, that a lot of people don't even know that they are recycling, to them, they're just doing it just as a way of making ends meet. Recycling in itself, the real education about recycling is not widespread. Very few people know about recycling. They know about the importance of recycling. They know about the importance of what they do. So it's a concept that still needs to be talked more. People still need to be educated more about it. A lot of people will still don't mind. A lot of people in Nigeria don't mind throwing their trash in the drainage instead of looking for how to recycle it, because to them it's an easier option for them. And then also the fact that, especially in Nigeria, we still are lacking in the department of recycling points or recycling collection centers, and a lot of people, it's stressful for them. I've accumulated this waste, and then you're still telling me that for my well-being I have to pack this waste and go somewhere because you want to recycle it. For them, it's not logical. It's more expensive for them. So the easier alternative for them is, well, let's throw it in the drainage. Let's burn it. Let's just make it disappear. Even if we inhale the fumes, the toxic fumes that comes from the waste that we're burning, we don't mind as long as we've done away with it. We've gotten rid of them. So, and again, some of the waste management systems in Nigeria are expensive. They are out of reach to a lot of local Nigerians within Nigeria. So recycling itself is still something that is out of reach for a lot of Nigerians. They are like, it's not their reality. They don't understand why they have to recycle. They don't understand they don't understand why they even have to go that way. And that is something that we have to, first of all, break down if we even actually want to win the war through recycling. But as I said, recycling alone cannot do it. Another thing why for me I feel recycling is not just the best thing is the fact that it consumes energy and pollution happens. Yes, pollution happens. Air pollution happens. In some cases, water pollution also happens. Chemical pollution happens. Soil pollution happens if the recycled materials or the process of even recycling, if it's not handled in the best ways. The problem we are running away from, pollution, we are coming back to it because we are not going about it in the best ways. It consumes energy because you need energy to break down these materials for you to be able to get a better material or a material that you could salvage out of the materials that you brought in. So it consumes energy. It gives out pollution. And we are still trying to look at how to have like greener technologies or have to have like energy conserving techniques. For now in Nigeria, I don't know if they have energy conserving techniques when it comes to recycling, but most recycling centers consume a lot of energy, especially the machines that you use, the machineries that they use consume a lot of energy. And as I said, pollution also occurs. Another elephant in the room is the fact that it's actually more expensive to recycle than if you just leave your waste there. As I said earlier, for a lot of Nigerians, it's recycling is something that is still a bit out of touch for them because, as I said, I'm the one that generated this waste, yes. But you say it's not good for me, it's not good for the environment. Okay, I want to see what I can do to help. And then you now tell me that I pack my waste and go somewhere. I might have to travel some kilometers. Okay, maybe not some, but the truth is you might have to travel some kilometers because recycling centers are still sparse in Nigeria. So I have to travel some kilometers. Or even if I'm not going to go to like an actual recycling center, but like the closest collection point to me, it's some kilometers. For instance, I have done a bit of research personally for me, and I want to be more intentional about recycling. And then I realized that the closest recycling, like the closest collection point that I have seen for me is some kilometers away. I cannot measure the kilometers, but it's like it's the closest collection point that I have noticed is like a 20 minutes, 30, 20, 20, 25 minutes drive from my home. So that is the closest collection point that I have seen. And if I want to find a closer one, I still have to do more research on my own to find a closer collection point for me to be able to drop my recyclables. And that's expensive. When if I was just a normal everybody, like normal girl, everyday girl in Nigeria, I would just like burn my waste or throw it away, including the recyclables, throw it somewhere, dump it in one abandoned land, and then it becomes a landfill eventually, something like that. So it's actually expensive for people to even want to try to even want to recycle. And even for the recycling centers, the people that actually do the recycling companies, it's expensive to recycle. And maybe that's why I will not blame some companies that they don't even want to look at that aspect of wanting to use recyclables, or because it's more expensive for them. They have to go around collecting these things that's supposed to be recycled, and it's putting more dent in their pocket. But still, they still have to be held accountable. But still, they still have to be held accountable for the products that they're giving us. They should not just be giving us products and make us have to figure out what to do with it. The responsibility should be shared between both the consumer and the producer. That's my own opinion. But now I'll be able to see that recycling is not just the answer. But if you say recycling is not just the answer out of our environmental crisis, what else is the answer? For me, I believe reduce, reuse, refuse, or rather will I say refuse, reduce, refuse, reduce, reuse. Yes, for me, those three things are more sustainable than actually recycling. Now, refusing in the concept of you could refuse to use a single-use plastic shopping bag and instead carry your own personal shopping bag, your reusable shopping bag that you could use on and on. Like, you could refuse to use single-use plastic cutleries and instead carry your own personal cutleries from your home. You could refuse to drink water from single-use PET bottles and instead carry your own reusable water bottles. You're refusing, and by the time you refuse to do these little things, they all add up together to make the big change that we want to see. You can refuse to shop products that are packaged in single-use plastics if you can afford to, because that is relative. If you can afford to, you could refuse to do that and instead choose a more sustainable option, something that is housed in a more sustainable packaging, which is better for the environment and better for you in the long run. If everyone gradually refuses to do these little things, we are going to make a big step. You can even refuse to shop from or patronize companies that are actively polluting the environment. You refusing to shop from them, one customer, two customers, they are actually going to feel it in the long run, and it's a great step in us helping to solve our environmental crisis. And let's say reducing the concept that there's a lot of waste going on in the world, especially as there's food waste, there's water waste, there's resources waste. We waste a lot of things in the world, and it's all coming back to bite us. We should learn to conserve everything that we have, learn to conserve energy, learn to conserve food, learn to conserve our resources so that we can be able to get the best use of it. At the same time, helping to protect the environment, helping to protect our planet. We waste food, wasting food, and then you do not wasting food, and then it goes to landfill, and then it produces methane. Methane is also one of the gases, that one of the greenhouse gases that in turn helps to bring about climate change. And then we are all back to square one. We should just learn how to reduce, use what we can afford to use at that point in time. Use only what you really need and not what you think you need. You should also have that mindset anytime we are shopping for whatever we are shopping for, whether it's clothes, whether it's food, whether it's even fetching water. This water, do I actually need all of these, or should I just don't take all of this? We should just learn to be mindful of the things that we do, and we should just learn to be mindful. It's a thing of the mind that this thing, I'm taking all of this, do I actually need all of this? I'm cooking all of this food, do I actually need all of this food? Or I just want to cook it because I just feel like I should cook a whole lot of food that I'm not going to need in the long run, and I'm just going to waste it. We should learn to be able to not waste. Let's try to reduce the things that we can reduce. What we can reduce, we should try to reduce it. We try to reduce our energy consumption. Put up the lights when you're not using it. You're reducing energy consumption. You're reducing your NEPA bill, or the bill on your prepaid meter. All in all, you're reducing, and helping you in the long run, because it's also going to help you save money when you reduce all of this unnecessary waste that we have everywhere. And then the best one that I love, reusing. Reuse everything that you can. Like, use anything that you can to the best of its life. Like, you will use it to the extent that the life is squeezed out of it. Please do. Because, as I said, we are wasting a lot of resources. We are wasting a lot of resources in the world today. And if we learn to reuse, something here, you saw it, reuse it, use it again and again till the life has squeezed out of it. We should learn to we should try to look for creative ways to reduce things that, even if they were housed in something. For instance, you have, in Nigeria, we actually do this. In Nigeria, we actually do this, especially in my home. We have containers. We have containers that house spices, but are now housing other spices that were not in need initially. I have an old room freshener bottle that has turned to my plant spray bottle, my plant water spray bottle. So all those little ways that we could try to reuse things, we try to get new meanings out of things that we have already used, that instead of them going into the landfill, instead of them going to your trash can and then having to waste all those resources recycling them, you could have just used them again and just conserve all that energy and prevent the pollution and the money and everything that it takes to actually recycle. And all it takes to actually recycle. And no, I am not saying that recycling is actually bad, but recycling alone cannot do what we actually need. We need to do a whole lot, and that includes us checking ourselves inwardly. What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? How are we going to try to how are we going to try to live a sustainable life for ourselves, for our children, for the people around us, and for the earth in general? So it's left to us to actually rethink our choices and look for healthier, more sustainable choices that would do us better good. And at the same time, speak out. And I think that it's left for us to look for more healthier options that will help us to conserve our resources and do us the greater good in the long run. So until my next video, pray for us in Nigeria. Pray for any Nigerian content creator that you know. Pray that God continues to give us the strength to weather the storm that we are in, because we move. Let's just say it. Until my next #Sustainable Sunday video, remember that you can be the change that you want to see. Signing out.